What's up everybody, Chris Gault here, Healthy Living with Chris Gault, and I've been getting a lot of questions on this, so I'm just going to go out and put a video together on it, and that is, what do I eat in a day as a healthy vegan? So I'm going to talk about the whole day, so just sit back, grab a coffee, get ready, and we're going to get right to it. Alright, make sure you watch the full video so that way you know exactly what to eat the whole day, because you do need to get a good mix in all day long in order to really get the nutrients in that you're going to need in order to stay healthy. And also I just want to mention that I do have a hard time keeping weight on, so I have to eat a lot, and I do eat a lot. So if this is too much for you, you could always just cut back on something and then you'll be good. Just make sure that you get a good breakout of the macronutrients, and what I mean by that is it's good to get about 40% lean protein, 40% good carbs, and 20% healthy fat all through the day. And if you could do that, you'll probably be much better off than if you didn't have that breakout. Now, different breakouts work for different people. That breakout really works well for me, so you might have to modify it, but it is a good start. And then you can always modify if you feel like you're deficient in anything. And I also like to eat every 2.5 to 3 hours, so I get about 6 meals in a day, and that way I feel I stay in fat burn, and that way I'm burning fat as opposed to burning other things like muscle in my body when I'm working out. So I also burn the carbs because I'm getting some carbs in, because it's okay to get some carbs in. You just want to make sure they're good, not all that processed garbage carbs, but you want to make sure that they're good healthy carbs. So if you can do that, then you're going to be in good shape. So the first thing I do in the morning is I consume some warm water with a vegan collagen supplement, and I put in there some apple cider vinegar, olive oil, and a squeeze of lemon. And I drink that down with my multivitamin and a C vitamin. So that way I just get that in my body. I'm just waking up, my stomach's just starting to get ready to eat, and that just gets it started. The lemon is going to help absorb the collagen, and then getting in my multivitamin is just going to assure, it's going to be like an insurance policy that makes sure I get my vitamins in. And I also take a vitamin C pill because I think it really helps with the immune system, and we all can use that now, especially during this pandemic. So anyway, that's what I do at the very first thing, and then I'll have my breakfast, and it's usually about 10 minutes after I have that. By the time, it's just how long it takes for me to get everything whipped together, and it does depend on if I have my morning smoothie made already. So I make my morning smoothie. It's a huge smoothie. I'm going to show you that, but I make 3 days in a row. So I will make, since I just put it all in the Vitamix, it makes 3 of drinks, and that way I have 1 for each day. So in the morning I'll either have to make it or I have it there already. And I have some old footage from an old video on how I make that smoothie, and I've been doing it for over a year now, so I still do it the same way. So I'm going to show you that footage right now. The first thing I start was with organic unsweetened almond milk, and I use the original. That way you know it's just plain almond milk and doesn't have any junk in it. Then I've got, I won't bore you with saying organic all the time, so I'll just know this is all organic. This is a pile, which is mainly the base of spinach and kale, and this is raw sweet potatoes. Yes, I do throw raw sweet potatoes in. Onion, typically I use white onion, but I ran out, so I'm using this red onion. Rainbow carrots, I like rainbow carrots because, again, I like a multitude of colors in my vegetables, because different colors mean different vitamins and minerals, so I recommend really mixing up your vegetables. I've got cherry tomatoes, celery, red pepper. I've got cucumber. Cucumber has a lot of silica in it, which is great for skin, collagen. An avocado, which doesn't look too pretty on the plate there because I've already dug it out, but that's avocado, which is a fantastic healthy fat. A lemon, and you'll notice I did something weird with the lemon. I hear that lemon peel is okay, is good for you, but I don't want to use all the lemon peel, so you could see that I took off some of the lemon peel, but I left some of it on, so I get the benefit of the lemon peel. I've got walnuts and almonds. These are raw and organic, so sorry for saying organic again, but these are raw. So don't get the roasted ones or the salted roasted ones. Just get the plain raw organic ones, because they're going to give you the most nutrient value. And then I put in some protein powder. Typically I use Shakeology, but I ran out. So that's coming in the mail, but it's not here yet because I ordered it a little late. This is what I did is I ended up replacing it with some organic whey protein powder. Typically I don't use this, but then this will make, if I put it in the Vitamix here, this will make basically 3 big servings. Oh, one thing I did forget, a couple more things. I have turmeric in here. This is fresh root turmeric, which I would recommend not the powder, but the actual root. It's a super food that is great for anti-aging, so I'd highly recommend it for everybody. And this is ginger. Now I don't peel it. Most people would probably peel it. I just am a little lazy, so I don't peel it. But I do wash it, of course, and scrub it to get all of the dirt off. And they are organic as well. And then a banana to top it off. So basically I'll put all this stuff in the Vitamix and it will make enough for these 3 big bottles. All right, welcome back. I know that was kind of a crazy shake that I put together, a smoothie that I put together in the morning, but it does give me all the nutrients that I need to really start the day off right. So, and if there's anything in there that you don't really like or don't think that you need, you can always take it out and you can always put in things that you do think you need. So if you like apples, you can always pop apples in and you can take the dates out. So it's up to you on what you want to do, but you can do that. So anyway, that's what I do, and I usually will have a matcha tea instead of coffee with that in the morning. And so if you don't know what matcha is, I'm going to show you that video, and because I put other things in with my matcha tea because I like to get other nutrients in too in the morning. So I'm going to show you that footage right now. The first thing I start with is I will put star anise, and if you don't know what star anise is, it is a star-shaped spice. It's dark in color and it tastes like licorice. And what I'll do is I'll put that in water, and I usually use filtered water, and I will heat that up in the microwave for 2 minutes. And you can heat it up any way you want. If you don't like using the microwave, you can always just boil it on the stove, but that's what I do. But I use the star anise, and it's gonna smell like licorice when you're done and you get it out of the microwave, and it's gonna smell great. But then you're gonna have to take out the star anise because that doesn't stay in there. So you're just getting the tea from it, basically. So I start with the star anise, and the reason why is because star anise has great antioxidant benefits. And what that means is, anything that's antioxidant is basically anti-aging, because as cells age, they oxidize. And so what you're trying to do is you're trying to keep your cells from oxidizing. So antioxidants will slow that process down, and then the cells stay healthier. So that's one of the great benefits you get from star anise. It also helps with your immune system, so it fights viruses and flu. And we're going through a pandemic right now, so everyone can use that. And even after the pandemic, it'll help fight colds and the flu. So just make sure you get this in, because it is an immune system builder or booster. It's also good for gut health, and I know everyone talks about gut health now, and if you haven't really got into that, you can always Google gut health and you'll see all sorts of stuff out there now, because gut health is so important. The whole thing is, if you can't digest properly, and your body is not pulling the nutrients from the food you eat right, then those nutrients can't make it to the cells in the rest of your body. So gut health is extremely important, and star anise has been known to help with that. It's also anti-diabetic, so it helps lower blood sugar in your body. And it also is great for your heart health because it regulates blood pressure and circulation. So all great things. Also relieves pain and inflammation in the body. And the other thing is, it's really great for skincare. And not only do people consume it like you will in this tea, but some people will actually also use it as a topical on their face or whatever, because it's good for the skin. So make sure you get that in. And so that's the first thing I pop into the cup, and I heat it up for 2 minutes. Once I get it out, I will pop the matcha tea in. Now, matcha tea is a little different than regular green tea, and the reason why is most teas, you have a bag, you have the leaves in there, you dip it in, and then whatever comes out, but the leaves don't. You don't use the leaves, and you throw that away. The thing about matcha tea is they actually they grind up the leaves, and it makes a powder. Very fine powder, and so you drink the entire leaf, and that's why it's so powerful and has more antioxidants than any other type of tea, is because you're consuming that whole plant. And the thing is, though, about it is that because it's a powder, it's very light and it goes all over the place. So you could buy a can of it, but it's tough to use. And if you buy a can of it, you would put a tablespoon in. But what I like to use is the single serve version. So you just rip the top off and you dump it in. It's so much easier. I use this organic one that just tastes great. It's easy to use, and you can get it at like Sprouts or Whole Foods. And if you can't find it there, then I will leave a link below in the description where you can purchase it online. But I would just recommend it that way. It's less messy. You know, one package is one serving. It's very easy to do. So I do recommend that. It's high in antioxidants as well. So again, we talked about the anti-aging properties of antioxidants. It improves brain function, memory, and concentration. So that's fantastic. Also, is great for heart health as well. And it gives you prolonged energy. So the difference between like matcha and like coffee, they both have caffeine. Coffee though just hits you hard with the caffeine and then you crash a few hours later. While matcha has this prolonged effect. It doesn't ever really blast you with caffeine, but it gives you enough so you have great energy, but it just prolongs it through the day, and that way it's sustained through the whole day and you just feel much better. The next ingredient that I will add in after I add in the matcha tea is coconut oil. And I know you probably heard a lot about the health benefits of coconut oil. And the thing about coconut oil, it does contain healthy fatty acids, which is great for you. You need to get them in. It encourages fat burning, and it's antimicrobial, which is great. And it also helps protect your skin, hair, and teeth. And you'll see a lot of people do a lot of things with it, like even they'll consume it, but they'll also put it on their face or their hair for hair masks or face masks. They will chew it and swish it around their mouth to whiten up their teeth and clean up their teeth. So it's just a great overall product. And so it has a lot of great nutrients in it. So you want to make sure you pop in that tablespoon of coconut oil, and you're getting that right in the morning. It's great. The next thing I add, because I want to sweeten it up a little bit, matcha tea is a little bitter for me, not everybody, but for me it is. So I want to sweeten it up a little bit. Before I went vegan, I used to use raw honey, 100% organic raw honey, and that has some nutrient value. So if you're not vegan and you want to do that, you can do that. Or you can do what I do now, and that is I put in 100% pure maple syrup. And I found out some cool things about it. Number one, you got to make sure it's organic, or it's better if it's organic, but the main thing is you want to make sure it's 100% pure maple syrup. So you don't want to go with that Log Cabin or Aunt Jemima or whatever those big brands are that give you that big gallon of whatever, and turn around and you look at the ingredients and there's all sorts of crap in it. So what you want to do is get one that just says, when you look at the ingredients, it just says 100% pure maple syrup. That way they don't add a bunch of sugar to it and a bunch of other junk, and it's just 100% pure, and that way you're not getting a ton of sugar in it. When you use it, it's actually healthier now, I found out, than honey, which I think is fantastic. Because honey, if you use the raw honey, there's a lot of nutrients in it, but pure maple syrup actually has more nutrients than honey, and I'll go over that. I usually just pop in 1 tablespoon, that's all I pop in. It has great antioxidants again, and we love antioxidants. It has riboflavin, it has zinc, it has magnesium, calcium, and potassium. All things that the body needs. So you pop in a teaspoon. I just put in a teaspoon because I don't want to get too much sugar in, because there is sugar in it, but it's a natural sugar. But if you get that, you're also getting those other benefits, the benefits of all of those other nutrients. So I pop that in, and then I pop in some almond milk. Or you can pop in any plant-based milk. I typically use almond milk, but sometimes I'll use coconut milk or I'll use cashew milk. You can use any of those. What I would say, if you're doing any kind of milk though like that, make sure that you're using unsweetened and organic if you can, unsweetened and unflavored, and that way you're not getting all these carbs in there that you don't want. If you get a flavored one or a sugared one, you don't want that because they just add sugar to it. So you want to make sure you get the unflavored, unsweetened one, and you're going to be better off. So, as I just mentioned, it's dairy-free and vegan, as we know. So because it's dairy-free, it's naturally lactose-free. So that's a good thing for those people who have a problem with lactose. You can drink almond milk. It tastes, to me, better than cow's milk. I'm not sure why people drink cow's milk in the first place, because it's like breast milk from a cow. It's kind of weird if you think about it, but this plant-based milks are much better, I think, and they taste to me better than cow's milk. It's low in calories, it's low in carbs, and it's low in sugar, which is opposite than if you want the cow milk, which is high in all that. It's also high in vitamin E, which is great, and it's a good source of calcium and vitamin D because they will typically enhance it with calcium if you buy any plant-based milk, but you can look at the label and make sure it says that. So, and they do that with regular cow milk too. They will actually put vitamin D in it typically. So it's a good source of all of those things. So you're getting all of those nice vitamins in. If you pop in a little bit of almond milk, I usually put a tablespoon in there. And then I will put a couple dashes of cinnamon in there. And the reason why is cinnamon, it improves your cholesterol and your blood sugar levels. So it's great. So you can always Google cinnamon, it has a lot of great properties. It's antibacterial and anti-inflammatory. So those are always great things. And so cinnamon really does a great job there. And it also helps you burn fat because it's just a little bit spicy. It's going to help you burn some fat. So overall, cinnamon is a great product to pop in to anything. And why not throw it in your matcha tea? Because it just makes your matcha tea taste so much better. Once you do all that, I mean, even if you don't like the way matcha tastes, with the star anise in there and almond milk and the maple syrup and the cinnamon, you know, all that's going to make it taste better. The coconut oil is going to maybe give it a little bit of a creaminess too. So it just overall, or a silkiness, I should say. So overall, it just, with all those ingredients, it just makes the matcha tea taste so much better. Okay, now that I have my smoothie and I have my matcha tea, the next thing I do is I just will toast up a piece of Ezekiel bread and I put a little bit of vegan butter on it. I like this one called Melt. It really, I just like the way it tastes, and it also melts real easy. Maybe that's why they call it that. And it's also very healthy. It's organic, so it's a really good option. It's plant-based. So I go with that one, and I have all that in the morning. And so I know it's a big morning breakfast, and you can always modify it again. The Ezekiel bread is gluten-free, and it's also ancient grains, so it's actually a good bread instead of that processed white floured bread that a lot of people eat, which I don't recommend at all because there's a bunch of empty calories and a bunch of empty carbs. Ezekiel bread is actually a good carb. So that's what I eat in the morning. And then typically, I mean, I might do different things. I might work, but typically, you know, I will, well, the first thing I would do is I always walk the dog right after that. And so I'll walk the dog, and usually we're out there for about 40 minutes, and then I will work out or I'll go to work. But in this sense, I'm just going to talk about what would I do in the day if I worked out, so that way it keeps it simple. So I'll go work out, and then after I work out, I'll have my power bowl right after that, because I think it's important to get protein in your body right after you work out. So I have a previous video on that, and I'm going to show you that footage right now. The first thing I put in usually is 1 cup of a plant-based yogurt, and I like to use one that is organic, and you know, you just get it at your grocery store. I get it at Sprouts or Whole Foods. So you might, not every grocery store will probably carry it, so you might want to go to more organic-y type, you know, grocery store, and you'll probably find what you're looking for. If not, you know, then you know, you could substitute it with other type of yogurt you want. With that, I usually use the 1 cup, which comes in 1 serving size. It comes with 140 calories, 6 grams of fat, 19 grams of carbs, and 3 grams of protein. So being plant-based, it doesn't have a ton of protein, but it has some. So the next thing I like to do is I like to put a half a cup of oats into that same bowl. So I'll empty out that yogurt into a bowl, and I'll put a half a cup of oats in the bowl. Again, everything I use, so I don't have to repeat myself, everything I use is organic. That way it's as healthy as possible and you're not getting a lot of chemicals in there. But anyway, it has 210 calories in it, 3.5 grams of fat, 38 grams of carbs, and 7 grams of protein. I was really surprised about that. Oats actually have a lot of protein in them, which is a good thing. The next thing I throw in is 3.5 ounces or so, around in that direction, of blueberries. And 3.5 is like a serving size. That'll give you another 57 calories, only 0.3 fat, so it's very low in fats, 14.5 grams of carbs, and very little protein too, but still some, 0.7 grams of protein. But the reason why I like to put the blueberries in is you get a lot of fantastic antioxidants from it, which the body craves as well, and other vitamins that the body is craving. The next thing I put in is a plant-based protein powder. Again, like I mentioned, I used organic a lot. So in this case, I use an organic one. This one's mostly pea protein. I put in just 1 scoop, which is half of the serving size. And what that will give me is 75 calories. From that, it also gives me 2.5 grams of fat, 7.5 grams of carbs, and 10.5 grams of protein. So because I want to have a lot of protein in there, that really helps boost my protein. That's why I put that scoop in there, is to get a little bit extra boost of protein. If you don't want that, you can always leave it out and you save yourself 75 calories. Next thing is the nut butter. It's just packed with a bunch of different types of nuts, and that way it gets a good mix. I put 2 tablespoons of that into the bowl, and that is 190 calories when I put that in there, because I want to have calories in there to help build the muscle up. And with that, I'm going to get 16 grams of fat. So unfortunately, peanuts, nuts, and that in general, seeds, they do have a lot of fat, but the good thing is it's good fat. It's not it's not saturated animal fat. It's actually good fat for you. It's also going to give me 7 grams of carbs and 7 grams of protein. So it's actually very high in protein, which is very, very good when you're feeding your body after a workout. All right, the last thing I throw in 1 tablespoon of chia seeds. And the reason I really do that is because chia seeds are just packed with antioxidants, which keeps you younger, keeps your body from oxidizing and destroying the cells, so that way you stay younger longer. And you know I'm all about that. If you watch my channel, you know I'm all about that. So I put in a tablespoon of that. That gives me 60 more calories. Fat grams of 4, because seeds and nuts do have fat in them, but they're usually the better fats. They're not the saturated fats, so that's a good thing. 2 tablespoons of chia seeds is not a whole lot. Total then, what that comes out to is 732 calories. All right, then after all that, I'll get to work. So I'll start working on my YouTube channel or whatever I'm working on, and I will be doing that. And in about 2.5 hours after that, I will have a vegetable juice. So what I do for that, I'll tell you a little bit what I do for that vegetable juice in a minute, but it's another big drink. And I also will have a Go macro bar with it. So the Go macro bar it has a lot of protein in it. It's a certified raw vegan, organic, gluten-free, and it's a non-GMO. So that's why I like those bars. They're also about 250 to 280 calories, depending on which one you go with. And if you ever want to give them a try, I'll leave a link in the description below. How you can get a variety pack, and then you can see which one you like the best. And you can also get them at Sprouts or Whole Foods, so they're available there as well. Now the vegetable juice is similar to my early morning drink, except I don't put protein in it and I don't put other stuff in it. I don't put milk in it. I don't put vegan milk in it like I do with the morning drink. So basically it's filtered water, but then I'll throw in organic spinach, kale, bananas, blueberries, carrots, cucumbers, onions, red peppers, celery, tomatoes, mushrooms, turmeric, ginger, avocado, sweet potatoes, chia seeds, apple cider vinegar, and olive oil. And so I put all that in there. And again, I make 3 of those again, because the Vitamix holds about 3 perfectly large drinks. So I'll make 3, so that way I don't have to make them every day, because that one takes time too to make. So I will have that, and I just drink that slowly through the day, and I get that done. And then sometime in the afternoon, like the later afternoon, I'll have another snack, and that's either a Go macro bar, or I'll have something like, hummus with vegan cheese and spinach, and I'll put that in a vegan low carb wrap. And so I'll do something like that. I try to, again, get everything to be organic if I can. So not always, you can't always do it, but I try to. Then after that, I'll have dinner, and dinner will have something with, have vegetables in it, a lot of vegetables in it, and it'll have some sort of plant-based protein in it. And here's one of the meals that we've made in the past, so I'm going to show you that right now. All right, we're getting ready to prepare our dinner, and this is spaghetti squash with roasted Brussels sprouts and chickpeas, right? But we're going to change it up a little bit. What are we doing with it?
We're just going to make it like that, but we're going to put it over quinoa.
We're going to put it over quinoa, just get a little extra protein, I guess, right? So these are Brussels sprouts that we got, and we cut them in half and sprayed them with, you sprayed them with oil. So Robyn sprayed them with oil, and they are ready to go in the oven. And so we're preheating the oven around 350, I believe. 400, and they stand corrected. 400, and we're gonna put these babies in there. All right, so you're making the quinoa?
Yeah, a cup of quinoa and a cup and a half of vegetable broth.
Sounds good to me. So the recipe takes 1 onion. So you're just gonna chop that baby up.
Yeah.
The Brussels sprouts are going in. For the purpose of the recipe, that was 1 pound of Brussels sprouts that we just put in the oven. All right, the Brussels sprouts were in for 7 minutes, and now they get stirred around a little bit. And then how much longer do they go in for?
They were for 7.5, I'll put them in for another 7.5, so 15 total.
Oh, 15 total, okay. All right, now we're gonna saute the onions. So I'm gonna put a little bit of avocado oil in. We like to use avocado oil because it handles high heat better than olive oil. So that way you can cook safer with avocado oil. All right, here's the spaghetti squash, and we actually already cooked this. And what we did is we put it in the oven for 30 minutes and then turned it for another 30 minutes. So it's already prepared, but we did that last night. So if you didn't do that, you need to do that now. All right, the Brussels are done. And they go in with the onions now. All right, so what's up now?
The garlic.
So how much garlic are you popping in there?
It said 3 cloves, but I got like a bunch more than that. And we like garlic, so I'm just gonna, I think I got like 6 cloves.
So we're putting, so you're supposed to put in 3 cloves of garlic. We're putting in 6 because we really like it. And you're just smashing it in there, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Throwing in?
Half a cup of vegetable broth.
All right, sounds good to me. I like vegetable broth. It's a nice sizzle. All right, now we need to cover it. It says cover it tightly. I'm sure that's tightly. And we leave it for 3 to 5 minutes. We're gonna check it out, and we might add some more broth depending if it needs it or not. Alright, so it takes 1 can of garbanzo beans, or chickpeas, however you want to call it, and we have to rinse them. So that's what Robyn's doing. And they go right in the pot.
So I'm gonna add dried basil, 2 teaspoons, a 1/4 teaspoon of red pepper flakes, and salt and pepper to taste. So we'll add some, and then we can always add more later. All right, there we go.
All right, so I'm gonna dump the spaghetti squash in. I'm having a hard time pronouncing it. So everything goes in the pot, it looks like.
All right, now I'm gonna add in 1.5 teaspoons of lemon juice.
All right, that's pretty much does it. And then we're just gonna put it on top of quinoa and maybe put a little salt and pepper on it if it's not salt and peppery enough. But that's it. We'll show it to you when we get it on the plate. We're also going to have some nice salads with our dinner. And one thing we like about the salads is we like to get a variety of vegetables and colors, because the colors do mean different minerals and vitamins, and so we feel like we're getting a lot of good nutrients by going that route. And now for the taste test. Is this an okay or a not okay?
It's hot, I think.
I like it hot.
Pretty good. Could use a little salt.
All right, well, we got some of that. All right, so that was dinner, and then after dinner, I will have some sort of dessert. You know, probably an hour after dinner or so, I'll have 2 pieces of dark vegan chocolate, and so that way, you know, it's actually good for you because it doesn't have a lot of milk or anything like that in it. It doesn't have a lot of sugar in it either, but it does have, you get the benefits of the chocolate when you do something like that. So it's usually I go for something that's either 70 or 80% dark chocolate, so somewhere in that range, that really works for me. The next thing I also have is a small protein bar too, not a Go Macro bar because they're a little bigger, so I'll go with something a little bit smaller but still give me the protein, you know, before I go to bed, and that way I have a really good amount of calories and protein in my body all through the day and right before I go to bed. And I know it's a lot, and that's what I eat, but you know, I'm 5'9", and I only weigh 140 pounds, so I really have a hard time keeping weight on. I do work out with weights. I still have a hard time putting on. My best weight ever was when I was in my 20s, and I weighed 155, and it really took an awful lot to get up there. And I typically was still about the 145, 150 pound range my whole life. So if you have an easy time putting weight on, you might want to cut back on some of this. But if you're like me and you have a hard time putting weight on, you can eat like this, but it's also, you can eat like this because you're not eating a lot of saturated fat. You're eating a lot of really healthy food, and that way you're not going to be putting on a lot of bad, you know, fat. You're not going to be putting it on, and your cholesterol level is just going to be down really low. My cholesterol level is like 180 total. And you know, I'm almost 60 years old, so that's pretty good to have your cholesterol level that low. Most of the people I know that are my age, their cholesterol levels are like 250 and above. So just know that if you go this route, your cholesterol level is really going to drop because there's an awful lot of cholesterol building properties in animal protein. So, and animal fat, and there's an awful lot of animal, you know, saturated fat in any animal protein. No matter how lean it is, you're going to get some. So, just want to throw that out. That this is a good way to go. And you, even though it sounds like a lot of food, you won't be packing out a ton of bad weight because it's all good stuff. So that's all I had to say. And if you have, you know, you're going to change your eating patterns. Just curious if you're going to do that based on what I eat. I'm just curious. If so, leave it in the comments below. Also, if you have any other thoughts on what you should eat, I don't care what your diet is, how you eat, whatever you eat. You know, just leave your thoughts in the comments below because we can all learn from each other. So make sure you do that, and just make sure you're you know, respectful of other people. So no ripping on anybody, but make sure that you just put you know good information in the comments below that we can all use. You know, that's what we're all about, is to help each other out. And if you like the video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, and that way YouTube will promote this to other people, and that way they'll benefit from it as well. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel and ring that bell notification, and that way you'll be notified every time I drop a healthy living video. And currently I drop them every Thursday and every Sunday, so yes, that's 2 a week. So you can just come in and watch those and get healthy with me. And if you know anybody who can use healthy living videos like this one, make sure you share it with them so that they can join in on all the fun. And make sure you share not only the video but the channel, and that way they can get healthy too. And for more tips on how to live a I can't even say it, babbling. But for more tips on living a happier, healthier life, 2 videos are going to pop up any moment, and you can pick one of those and you can continue your happy, healthy living journey. And I'll see you all soon, everybody.